I'm going to show you some more of my Catan and Catan-Compatible hex-based game mod stuff today. Specifically, I'm going to show you these beautiful little advantage tins I made. I have them in each of the colors that my players play with. It's a system I came up with that helps a whole bunch of us players who have disabilities better access to the games. Even with my limited dexterity, they're pretty easy to open and use, which is great. They're kind of the perfect size. They're the perfect height too for a couple of them to fit in the game box without any issues. I do fit all my Catan stuff into Catan boxes and a few little plano boxes. I have a couple types of tokens here to show you what I'm talking about. I've actually painted and sealed a ton of each one here. Gold, fish, wheat, ore, sheep, general trade, wood, brick, and a whole bunch of other things like that. My amethyst chunks or elsewhere, and other things like that, like oil barrels. But you don't need all those. That's for a bajillion people. All that you'd ever need for like a 5 to 6 player game fits in one little tin. And that easily is like smaller than my hand. I think it's around 2 inches by 3 inches. I'm not sure. You need one of these for each person. This is for those general bank trades that you get to make at any point. So 4-to-1 bank trade, 4-to-1 resource cards, make it black and blue right there, of any sort. And then if you get a special port, you have a 3-to-1 ratio. So in your tin, let's say you're the green player. So everyone can see it, but you keep track. Everyone starts with a 4-to-1. And then at some point, if you get a 3-to-1 port, you just flip it. Whatever side is up is what you have. And you can see it, you can touch it, you can fidget with it, but everybody else can see too. So if you're playing, let's say with green, orange, and brown, I'm just gonna get those pins out. I haven't painted them all the way. It's whatever. Yeah, let's just do those 3 players. Sorry, it's a little chaotic here. Let's say you each are playing, and everyone starts with the 4-to-1 trade ratio that everybody always gets in the game. Green has a 3-to-1 port. That's really small writing, not everyone's going to see it, but the green player is always looking over toward the board in front of you and is like, oh yeah, I get a 3-to-1. Cool. For me, one of the ways I always lose the game is that I forget which harbors I have. So for me, if I have a brick 2-to-1, and there really isn't a brick 3-to-1 because that's that. A brick 2-to-1 can go in here as well. That's a brick, and from a long distance away, you can tell it's a brick. If you have a 2-to-1 port for wood, this is like a tree stump I got from another Etsy seller. It's so cute. They're even little like tree rings and stuff. It's adorable. Painted and sealed as a 2-to-1. Boom. They have wood, they have brick. We all can trade whatever. Oh, excuse me. I got some really cute fishies for anyone who wants like a super luxe experience. I only wrote 3-to-1 trade for now, but in the Hawaii version, there's also a 2-to-1. So let's say the green player has a 3-to-1 trade ratio. Depending on what game mod you use or which expansion or whatever, you might have a 3-to-1 fish trade ratio. Everyone can do a 4-to-1 in most versions of fishing, like in Traders and Barbarians, whatever. And I have that as an option as well. But if you play with the Hawaii option as well, the Hawaii scenario, you can have it as 2-to-1. Let's say we're just doing lakes and stuff, and you benefit with a 3-to-1 ratio. Pop that in there. Let's say you end up with a gold 3-to-1 or 2-to-1, depending on what version of the game you play with. You can flip that little gold bar over. Clearly it's not real gold because that would be insane. A little chunk of wheat. And then you could just have wheat there to be like, oh, I have a wheat port. Or if you're like me and sometimes need a reminder for actual numbers, you can flip it that way. So whatever you like. Like, oh, dang, this orange player is getting some really, or the brown player is getting some good advantages here. And of course I have the cutest sheep in the world. Adorable. I tried drawing on the wool part for some, but it looked weird, so I just did it like this. You can always like flip your sheep. So there you go, a little tiny sheep trade. So I just kind of made these for everybody. I've got ore as like a little chunk of rock, you know, a little chunk of ore. Let's say this person has it too. Oh dang, they've got wheat and ore and all these other things. Dang, this person has 5 different advantages. Well, 4 advantages because this one's not normal. There we go. Now they got a 3-to-1 port. 5 advantages. Let's say we've got 3 and this person has 2. The 4-to-1 doesn't really count. Then we might want to keep track of the brown player as they advance toward winning the game. Let's say you have a large board like I often play with and there's an additional wood port. dang, this person can trade in all their road making resources for a ton of advantage. Having 2, maybe even 3 of these is all you'd ever really need for a large scale game. But, you know, most people would just need 1 of each. And let's say this person also has a 3-to-1. Anyway, so this is how you do it with the basic 5 resources: wood, brick, ore, sheep, and wheat. But I also add in gold, fish, and a couple other things. And I really like having this option because even if I have little animals or the tiny little harbor tokens that are used in the game that are so easy to lose and hard for me to pick up, that's part of why I went with these cute 3D things. Also, they're cute, but you know, they're easier to pick up. Having this really helps me remember, oh wait, I can trade 3-to-1. Makes a big difference for me. In addition to these basic resources, we're going to put other things in too. This is a tip card that reminds me, and I'm going to finish painting that later, if I'm doing the Rain Barrel Sustainable Agriculture Edition, one of my little scenarios. This is just kind of a reminder for how it works with the rules. That could go next to my advantage thing, or I could throw it in there like, oh yeah, I've got rain barrels, let me not forget to use those. These tins are perfect for the little VP chits, for all these things, for this. You could even pop it in here and still see everything. They're really handy, even for people like me whose hands don't always work. Fits really nicely. Here's another sustainable agriculture thing if you're doing terracing, how to make a terrace. If you want to buy one of these, it's basically like how to purchase an A-frame level. That would be off to the side. Of course, you could pop it in. Here's an advantage 1 during my Cherry Blossom edition. If you write a haiku, which is one of the options to get points, and you incorporate Kigo, which is a cool way to reference the season without quite saying it's spring, you get some more points, and that's part of the game. So let's say the green player is, you know, building a city on the Cherry Blossom hex. These are some of my custom hexes for my add-ons. And they've got a property here, they rolled the die for it, and they did this awesome cool thing. They get an extra victory point, so it's got a +1 VP on the other side. I'm not done painting that one yet. These are some of my custom hexes. This one's about terracing, where you turn a normal hill into a terraced hill, increase your production, save water, save soil. Jurassic Park. It's awesome. Desert Library from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Cherry Blossoms. We kind of learn a little bit about poetry, Sakura Matsuri, and things like that. And this is an amethyst cavern, kind of inspired by the amethyst caverns in Minecraft, which is cool. And of course, Statue of Liberty. This is a fundraiser for immigrant rights. Anyway, cool stuff. I've got these tins for any color you want and customize them. Same tins I use to hold stuff for the other expansions and scenarios like Zombie Apocalypse, Amethyst Caverns, and things like that. Pretty straightforward. You know, say you roll the die, the Pride Hex, and this one says that you gain a healing point, but you lose a resource. You're basically investing in Pride Fest. And this is the little thing, kind of like a metropolis thing that could go over your city there. Or this little fox that's helping you at the library, the knowledge seeker. Here's kind of like the metropolis on a Cherry Blossom hex. Long story short, each of those is explained in its own thing. This has an oil derrick on it, as does this. You know, some of these tokens stay out on the board. We'll see if Jurassic Park is flooded all the way or just partially flooded, helping the dinosaurs leave. But when you earn advantages, like this comes from the art-related, aesthetic-related things, it just goes in here. This isn't a victory point, it's a healing point. It's my whole system that makes a lot more sense once you understand it than what I can express in a sentence. Let's say these 2 players each earned an aesthetic healing point. Great. And then this player also earned something on the Cherry Blossom hex that gives you an advantage. Boom. Like they shared a haiku. This is just a little compass tile where you can have a point as the north or a flat as the north. In this case, flat as north from my Portal and Doctor Who editions. This kind of thing could go in your tin or not. This is the Pandorica from Doctor Who. It's a pretty specific advantage and you have to roll for it. You take a dev card, all production until your next turn, so the whole way around the table. You just pile up your cards that you earn normally in a pile. Can't be robbed, can't be destroyed, can't be traded. You're just like stuck in the Pandorica for, you know, a long time. And then you earn another dev card at the end of it for your patience. It's kind of like rewarding your patience with 2 dev cards. It's very cool, huge advantage in the game. And of course it's shiny. This could go in the advantage tin for sure. Like, if you're able to make terraces, that's a huge advantage. If you're able to use the Pandorica, huge advantage. So these are things that stay out on the board. These are things that are specific to your player. And you can display it for other people or for yourself. Like, cool, I've got the Pandorica option whenever I'm willing to use it. I can terrace the hill so I get double production. I've got a port for these ones. I have 1 healing point and 1 haiku point. It's very cool. I'm really excited. I can't wait to put together videos for more of these specific expansions, add-ons, and whatever. But in the meantime, the most important thing is that everybody can play and everyone has equitable access to the fun. And that's where these advantage tins come in. Cool thing, if you have to hurry up and like switch tables or move things around, you can close the lid. You can even, put it in your lap for a while or in your pocket. They stay closed really well. And then pop it open again. Maybe if you take a dinner break partway through game night, that's a great option, and it keeps all your stuff straight, so you don't have to recalculate everything on the board to be like, okay, so I'm trading at a 4-to-1, I've got brick and wood and gold.